Hello and welcome to my Three Hopes Basic Fighter Guide. In this guide we're going to be going over the fighter class. It's one of the starter classes, so it's not going to be anything too crazy. We're going to go over the basic attacks for this class. It's mostly just going to be axe and bow attacks. As far as I can tell, that's really what fighter specializes in, and then it will branch off into other things that are a little bit crazier, a little bit more powerful. So let's start with Caspar here, who has a big axe. So the axe attacks are very simple. The first three attacks are extremely similar in terms of how much damage they deal and how much they move enemies. So I'll just do the basic 3-hit combo here. So you can see there it's kind of like similar range, basic damage scaling. The damage increments up. So one thing to note about the damage, as I went over in my how much damage are we actually dealing video, the damage listed in a combo is the total damage. So right there I just did 85 total damage, not 45 plus 85. So when doing a combo, that's something to be aware of. Alright, and then the final hit for the basic 4-hit combo for your Y attacks ends with a downward smash that sends enemies flying back. So fodder enemies always get pushed back, but actual like enemy units that you have to essentially duel tends to not get knocked back by it, but you can kind of combo off of it. Alright, so let's start with the X attacks now. So basic X attack hits, it's like a downward smash that can launch, it can also knock enemies back. Sometimes, I don't know what triggers this, so like right there you saw like the first time I used it, it created like this huge like rock spike, and then after that, it's just creating like a basic thing. It does less damage and less force. So, check it out. Let's see if I can get the rock spike to appear again. I don't know what triggers it. At first I thought it was like counterattack, but I don't think that's it. I don't think it's distance based. Someone probably knows in the comments, so definitely let us know. Because this is like the first... I mean, the game's not actually out yet, so we're just trying to cover the base classes just so people can kind of get their feet wet to, in these videos before even getting the game to kind of see if they even might like it. But obviously the demo is a good way to try that. Okay. So... that is the YYYX combo. So Y, 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 then the 4th hit is X. Kind of creates this massive, like 360 degrees attack where your axe just spins out of control. And just like with all combo attacks, the damage you're seeing is being added up. It's not like it's not per hit. So the total damage dealt there in that case was like 242 or something like that. So 202 in this case. So this is really good at getting fodder off you, and just for hitting a bunch of things that are kind of close to each other. It also knocks things back. Then you have your basic launcher, which is your YX. This seems to be the case for most units, if not all units. If you hit Y and then X, you will do a launcher move, and then you can combo into a basic chain after that. So it's always good. Launchers are pretty sick for getting a combo going or for maintaining one. And then you have your YYX, which is kind of like another, like a heavy... It's very similar to just the normal X, except it just happens after a chain there. So you can see there, it's like the damage is similar, the pushback is similar, the AoE is similar. The only upside is that it comes after some initial hits. You can roll after it and then maybe do like a launcher or something. So those are the basic attacks. Let's talk about the 2 axe skills you start off with. So you have returning axe and smash. So I'm going to use returning axe right now. So you can kind of see there, it has a kind of like a small version, a small, faster version of this attack, where it just kind of goes around you really quick, hits a bunch of things, knocks them off of you. It's kind of cheaper, it's only 10 durability. It does okay damage, it doesn't do like high damage compared to some of the attacks. I mean, it hits 200, which is pretty decent, just to like get some quick damage off, because of how quick it, how fast it activates. And then we also have Smash, which is essentially like a juggle. It just hits, a few times. You can just like start opening something up. Just trying to do like a basic thing here. I think we missed the time window to break his armor though. If we had Smash, we easily could have broken his armor. So Smash would definitely be good for breaking armor. If we actually look at some of the properties of these moves, you can see Smash has a higher crit rate than normal, which is good. So that's something to take note of. you can kind of see the range. The range on these two is pretty similar. All right, so that's pretty much it for axes. Now let's jump into bows. Fighter is a class that tends to become like archer. Actually, let's see what it becomes so we actually know exactly what we're talking about. Okay. There's soldier, myrmidon, fighter. Okay, so fighter can become archer, brigand, or armor knight. So it's basically an axe. It even says here, axe, bow, and gauntlets. I guess we should go over gauntlets. I haven't tested them, but I will go over them. I'll kind of do it on the fly here. Okay. The moves, I mean, now that I know everything's kind of similar, like your basic Y is just damage. The fourth hit in the Y chain is always like some kind of CC. You have your YX launcher, your basic X, which is usually some utility or some damage. All right, so your basic Y combo on the bow is just basic damage. Do note that the projectiles pierce targets. So unlike the projectiles that mages have, which kind of detonate AoE on hit, these continue to fly through, and the range is pretty good as well. And the basic Y, like the 4Y combo, the last hit shoots out like a large spray that knocks things back, so that's pretty good. And then for your basic X, you kind of shoot these arrows up at a short distance away from you, and it can kind of crowd control enemies and deal a little bit of damage, as you can see there. It does quite low damage. Damage is like chip damage. It seems to be more used as like a CC tool. And then you have, oops, sorry, your YX, which is a launcher. So standard stuff. Get your launcher combos off. And then you have your YYX, which shoots this like super shot that seems to be good at breaking armor, as far as I can tell. It also has pretty good pushback, and it shoots it straight ahead of you, which is nice. Okay, maybe it's not good at breaking armor. It just seems like it might. Alright, let's see. Okay, there we go. We got a dude. I'll show you the X attack on the bow. I mean, pretty much every X attack on armor break is like similar, where it just hits them a bunch of times, does a ton of damage. Nothing too crazy there. And then let's do the YYYX. So this one creates a more damaging AoE that's like around you. Oops, that was the... You can kind of hear the button presses, so there you go. So that's just like showing like a basic setup there. Alright, so yeah, just creates like a storm around you that does some decent damage. And seems to be good at breaking armor. Because if an enemy can have its armor broken, multi-hit seems to be quite good at that. Alright, so let's go over the basic attacks. We have curve shot and tracking shot. I'll actually just pull up the thing here so we can look at any special properties of these abilities before we go over them. So one thing to note about tracking shot, it reduces stun gauge faster. So if you use this on an enemy whose stun gauge can be damaged, this will deplete it faster. Obviously bows are effective against flyers. And then you can kind of see the difference between these two. Curve shot seems to have a large area of effect, and tracking shot is better at armor break, so that's kind of the difference between the two. They're both similar in terms of cost and damage, so let's actually use tracking shot. Oops, I actually aimed down. Yeah, you can see there it does crazy. So it's really good at armor break, so it's actually no joke. Like, I was able to break this thing's armor very rapidly with that. So that's definitely good for armor breaking. Now we'll do curve shot. So it's kind of like one of those volley things where it just like has like an arrow storm rain down. Not too crazy, not too impressive. There might be a use case for it, maybe just the AoE, just how many things it hits is what makes it decent. But as far as I can tell, tracking shot is just better because breaking armor is good. When you can. Sometimes you're not able to break armor. Okay, so let's go over the gauntlets. Let's switch back to Caspar. He needs to get some durability back, which this map does provide, so Do I even have gauntlets? I don't even know. Okay, I do. I have Iron Gauntlets +1. Alright, cool. Alright, this is my first time using them, so we'll check them out. Alright, let's just kind of play around with them for like a minute. Okay. Just use the basic combo. I mean, it's pretty similar. Like, you have your basic Y, 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 so like Y, Y, Y. And then the fourth Y knocks them back, so just like with most weapons for the starter classes. And then I'm sure this is a big punch. Yep, big punch for the X. So X is just a big slap. You know, basic CC. Then you have your YX launcher. So very standard. So most weapons, if not all weapons, have this. You do a nice like Shoryuken uppercut type motion. I appreciate that. YYX. Kind of like a forward punch that seems to be pretty good. Alright, let's try the YYYX. So it does this kind of crazy combo. So it seems like the YYYX is always damage oriented. Like especially AoE damage. So we're starting to notice like a pattern here. So you can see there's this like big combo. Yeah, you can get like some more combos off. So very similar to other weapons. All right, now let's see if we can change abilities. I don't know if you can from here. I would hope you can. Let's see. Oh, cool. It will let me. Nice. All right. All right, let's check these out. So both of these seem to be good at breaking stun gauge, so that's cool. So it seems like the gauntlets are a stun break type of weapon, which makes sense because you're beating people to death in a gameplay perspective, because getting hit with a giant axe would definitely stun you. But, okay. So we have a difference of durability. Dual Devastators has medium might, so that's going to be a big damage. They both have armor break. Opponents cannot guard, so that's interesting. All right, let's check these out. Try to be as thorough as we can. Okay. So this is just straight up... Or is that the wrong one? Hold on, which one can't be guarded? Let's make sure we have it right. Rushing Blow cannot be guarded. Okay, that's Rushing Blow. Alright, cool. Okay, so it's just like a big damage attack where you just like push through. Cool. This is pretty fun, to be honest. These are pretty fun. Just kind of like push a dude, punch through him. It's like faster than the axe in general. The range is like slightly less. It's pretty comparable though. It's not like you lose that much range. Okay, that's pretty good. The fact that these can just shred armor like this. I mean, obviously it's a weakness too. Like this enemy has a weakness to me. But these are definitely pretty good. So yeah, that's gauntlets, bows, and axes for this class, as well as the basic. Let's check out the A attack. It's just a big attack. Like every A attack is just a big attack, let's be real. Okay. Now aside from that, one thing we can check out is the class learned abilities. So we can go to fighter, you can hit Y. Okay. So in this case, so like with most classes, you'll actually have different things available to you. Oh, cool, that's crazy. Brawlers, I don't know if this is gender locked, but Bernadette I don't think had this. So that's interesting. So you can become a brawler, or maybe I just didn't move over far enough to see it. But you can see here that Caspar has Spirited Seas, Axe Prowess, and Swinging Fury. But then if we go to... Oops, no, don't do that. If we change to Bernadetta, yeah, she actually... Okay, so it appears that Brawler is gender locked. So she actually has Strength +2, Bow Prowess, and Spiral Shot. So even though a lot of units will start out as a fighter, they'll start to branch off into different things and have different options. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Obviously, Bernadetta is more of an archer, so she's probably going to typically go the archer route, and then archer will probably branch off into other things as well. So yeah. And I'm sure there are other units that have like more brawler type things. But just like with the monk video, you know, just because you have a certain starting class, like I believe Edelgard starts as a fighter as well. Yeah, so let's look at her. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to equip that. Just wanted to show her abilities. Yeah, so she actually has similar abilities to Caspar, Spirited Seas and Axe Prowess, but then she gets Smash, and he gets Swinging Fury. So she might already have Swinging Fury, or it might be like unique. Let's actually see if she has Swinging Fury. I'm curious now. Yeah, she does. So some units start off with certain abilities, and then they unlock them as you level up a class and master a class. And then also, someone pointed out in a previous video, you do get a 5th attack when you master a class for the basic classes. So you get a 5th attack in your Y combo. You don't get an extra X attack or an extra, or like you can't do like 4 Ys and then an X. For example, you can just do 5 Ys in a row. That's all that's new that's added. So that's where that extra attack came from. So I was like, why does Monica just have like a 5th extra attack? So that's where it comes from. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the fighter overview. I still need to do soldier and I think like mercenary, or what's the, let me see. Don't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. Myrmidon, okay. So yeah, you have Myrmidon, soldier. I think there's only those 4 base classes. I could be wrong though. Let's see. Let's see if there are any other weird ones. Yeah, Myrmidon, soldier, fighter, monk. I think that's it. Fighter, soldier, Myrmidon, monk. Yeah, so very similar to 3 houses. Unless they add like a 5th one in just to throw us off from some weird unique class. Which would be cool, honestly. That'd be sick, to be honest. That'd be swick. That'd be sweet and sick at the same time. So yeah, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this, definitely like and subscribe. Definitely let me know if I missed anything or if there's any other interesting facts or information about the units or what you think about 3 Hopes in general and if you enjoy it. But yeah, thanks for checking this out and peace.